Surah 4, 157 of the Quran denies the crucifixion according to the standard interpretation of Muslims. If you look at the classical commentators like Ibn Kathir or the two Jalals, right, these are standard tafsirs or commentaries on the Quran, and they give a standard interpretation, namely that Jesus was not actually crucified, but Allah caused it to appear as though he was by putting the appearance of Jesus on that of another man. Some will say that it was Judas because he betrayed Jesus. Others would say it was a volunteer disciple saying, I'll do it, let me die for Jesus. So Allah deceived everybody into thinking that person was Jesus, and therefore that Jesus died by crucifixion when it really wasn't the case. And this is part of the Quranic teaching that Allah is the best of all deceivers, right? Surah 354 and Surah 830 both say that Allah is a makr, right? A deceiver. The Arabic word in the Quran means a deceiver. These passages, 354 and 830, both say he's the best of deceivers. So he's not just a deceiver, he's the arch deceiver. And he's been at the business of lying for a very long time, because he not only deceived, think about this, he not only deceived people at the time of Jesus, in fact, he even deceived the disciples. So he's even in the business of deceiving his own people, because they went about preaching that Jesus was crucified. This is what the early church believed and taught as historical evidence. And if somebody says, well, the historical evidence just reflects the fact that people were deceived, well, yeah, that's the point, right? All these people were deceived because Allah deceived them. Well, Satan in the Quran says he's going to go about trying to deceive people and get them off of the path because Allah first deceived him. The Quran reveals this, that this is what happened. Allah misled Satan. Now Satan is angry and wants to mislead Allah's people. So Allah's been at the business of deceiving since before Satan. So when Jesus said to Satan, or of Satan in John 8, that he's a liar and he's been lying from the beginning, this is his true nature, it has to be the case that Allah is Satan, right? That the one Jesus called Satan is the Allah of the Quran, okay? Because Jesus said that Satan was the liar from the beginning. He's the first liar. He's the original liar. But the Quran says that Allah's the original liar. That's his business. That's his stock in trade. So Surah 4, 157 is just a grand example of that. Allah doing his thing. Allah hitting his stride, right? This is Allah when he's doing what most pleases him. He relishes lying to people, right? This is his character. Most Muslims know about this. Most Muslims believe that story. They think this is what happened. Now, it's interesting, though, there are problems with that interpretation. It'd take too long to go through all of them, but there are problems with that interpretation. All interpretations of that verse are problematic. There are problems with taking it according to the standard view. I mean, problems with thinking that that's even the proper interpretation. But even if you go with the standard view, it reflects negatively on Allah's character. But if you go with other interpretations, it ends up undermining Islam as well, but in different ways.